Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is being targeted for a data attack. The truth is, there's an epidemic of targeted attacks worldwide. Over 2/3 of large organizations reported attacks in the last year alone, and email is the #1 vector for these attacks. So, what is a targeted attack, also known as an advanced persistent threat, or PHYSH? How does a targeted attack really work? Let's take a closer look. The whole process starts when an attacker consciously targets your organization. These aren't random viruses spreading from computer to computer. Someone is actually out to cause your group and your organization harm. The attacker does research. They use public data to figure out who your key staff are and how to reach them. Then, attackers either compromise an existing known website or set up a similar fake site so that they control a destination URL. Having that base site and knowing the right information about their targets, attackers then construct a socially engineered email and deliver just a few from different places, different IP addresses worldwide. Having successfully dodged the legacy spam filters and delivered this email, as it's not high volume, contains no malware, and is thus marked safe, a user, possibly off-site or on a mobile device, clicks on that delivered URL. The site the attacker compromised may not initially be harmful, so sandboxing tools won't initially block the URL, and later when a user visits from off-site and the malware has been activated or credentials sought, the user is caught. Having successfully planted a Trojan or obtained user credentials, the attacker is now free to roam your organization's network and obtain data. The attacker then proceeds to reap the very profitable results of that data theft. This attack is made possible because there are gaps in existing product coverage. Attackers exploit gaps between these point defense products. The fact is that the low volume of email and rotated IP address means that the sender can bypass the reputation filter. There's no malware attached, so the email gateway allows delivery. Attackers rotate the payload or use credential attacks to circumvent corporate web gateways and sandboxes. Home, remote, and mobile users are compromised off the corporate network and carry the infection back into the enterprise. And intrusion detection systems issue post-malware warnings, often too late or far too late to block the theft. The result, not only do attacks such as PHYSH get through, but the way IT discovers the breach is when the data is published or a user notifies them, with the result that IT spends weeks figuring out how far the damage has spread and trying to clean it up. In contrast, Proofpoint's targeted attack protection is constantly updating and takes action immediately on discovery of a threat. The result is that threats are not only discovered earlier, but also automatically neutralized at time of discovery. So the entire reaction process is often completed before a legacy system user would even know the threat existed. Proofpoint's targeted attack protection defeats all of these new pernicious threats. The first step that Proofpoint takes is when the Anomalytics service examines the inbound mail's characteristics. Is this inbound mail normal or anomalous relative to the usual email traffic? In this way, Proofpoint can circumvent attackers' use of multiple IP addresses, low volumes, and lack of explicit malware attached. If the mail is anomalous, any URL in the email is rewritten to point at Proofpoint using the URL QuickTime defense service, and then the email proceeds to the recipient in the company. When the user clicks on the link in the email, regardless of where that user is logged in, at home, coffee shop, mobile device, etc., the URL reaches out to Proofpoint. Proofpoint's URL defense service then checks the URL against the malware analysis service, and if the URL is safe, passes it on to the end user. This check on click time is done every time the URL is clicked, defeating attackers who rotate malware on and off sites or who rotate credential attacks. The best part? The sequence of threats is tracked on the Threat Analysis Service dashboard, so you now have the visibility to know when you're under attack and where bad email was aimed. You can issue alerts or make changes to defend yourself. In sum, the Proofpoint Targeted Attack Protection Service is the best new offering from Proofpoint available, and we encourage you to try it immediately.